everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom. I have just witnessed Ipswich Town 1, Brentford 1 in the archetypal game of two halves, if I may use a cliche, within 10 seconds of starting talking. I'm going to go through the Brentford team first because it was a little less crazy than the Ipswich team. So Brentford line up in this sort of 4-3-3. Bentley in goal, Dalsgaard, Mepham, Conser, Barbe across the back. McEachran sat in front of the back four with Mokotjo and Sawyers ahead of him. Watkins off to the right, Benrahma to the left, but cutting in on his right foot, and Mapai up front, the top scorer in the league. So the Ipswich team comes through at 6:45, and having heard before Paul Hurst comes, oh, this guy's a 4-2-3-1 through and through. That's his philosophy. We get three at the back for the first time this season. Very, very confusing. The players can only have had 2 days to have a look at it. It's Gherkin in goal. The three across the back are Pennington, Chambers and Knudsen. Knudsen's comfortable with that. Pennington, I don't know. If you're a Leeds fan, let me know if he had to try that last season. Possibly not. Spence was the right wing back. Donasian, the left wing back. He's been here a month and now played centre back, right back and left wing back. Chalobah and Skews were sat in midfield with Ward slightly ahead. Jackson and Harrison up front. A lot of Ipswich fans had called for two up front, and they got it today, but in a rather surprising tactical U-turn from Paul Hurst. Bit of a shaky start from Pennington. A couple of nervous back passes, and Benrahma with an early sighter straight at Gherkin. Not sure if Pennington struggled to get his bearings to begin with, being on the right-hand side of a back three there. Slipped through to Mapai, flag stays down, goes round Gherkin, down he goes, the whistle blows, and dramatically the ref waves the other way, books him for diving. I need to see that one again. Straight down the other end, good press from Harrison, and he goes over. Similar looking incident. No decision at all here, no yellow card, no penalty, no nothing. Great passing from Brentford on 9. They've got it on the left hand side with Benrahma. It goes boom, 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 all the way across to Sawyers. Give and go down the right. He fires it across low. It nicks off an Ipswich heel and just flies past the post. Oh, Dean Smith was up for that one. He thought that was going in. Great run by Dalsgaard. He completely roasts Donasian and gets him on the turn here. Good cross. Mapai heads it goal. Pennington flicks his head at it. Up it goes in the air. Falls to Sawyers. Smashes the half volley just over. Hit it too well. If he miskicks that kind of bobbles in the corner and it's 1-0. Harrison wins a free kick. Good work from him on 15. Ward sends it over. Knudsen's volley is deflected over from the corner. Pennington heads it goal. Bentley gathers it well under duress from Luke Chambers. Doesn't get the bounce here. Watkins and Benrahma switch. Benrahma didn't have his best day today, and it's noticeable that Grant Ward has started to mark Josh McEachran, so it's looking very much like Hurst's 3-5-2. The idea is a spare man, almost two spare men at the back picking up midfielders. The wing-backs watching Brentford's wide players, and the front midfielder watching their deep-lying playmaker. Very defensive stuff for a home game from Hurst, let's just say. A nice cross from Barbe, wins a corner. Roll on the floor to Sawyers. He completely fluffs the shot. Good chance. Ipswich are panicky here. They can't clear their lines, and Brentford pushing Ipswich in. They get so many people forward. Donasian makes the last-ditch tackle. Ipswich just can't get out. Brentford have so much territory, and we get into the 30th minute in this state. Brentford take the lead. Ipswich are still hemmed in. It's slid through to Sawyers inside the box. He pulls the trigger. Right-footed, he's in the corner of the box. It bounces up in the air, and in terms of striking play, this is great from Mapai. He reacts really quickly. He springs up off his heels, heads the ball, and there's no this is not across his head, and it's just gone up in the air. He gets real power with the neck muscles and loops it over Gherkin. It's what if you're old like me. A Gerd Muller, a little goal, but a beautiful little goal in terms of striking play. Slightly fortuitous with the bounce, but Brentford had done all the attacking. So in terms of the course of the half, you couldn't argue with them leading, even though they get a little bit of a bounce for it. But good play from a striker in form. That will be his 8th of the season. He's looking at a really nice total. Watkins in, shoots straight at Gherkin. Great stuff from Brentford. Now they're well on top, playing with their tails up, looking for the second goal in 35 minutes. Paul Hurst, who always stands at the edge of his technical area, sits down, and there's a bit of a sense of depression coming over the ground. The team are playing very defensive. The manager's sat down. A club far in advance in their project are really giving us a bit of a lesson, and it becomes a bit uncomfortable. Some passes are going astray. Players' first touches are going. Chalobah, Spence all have bad moments, and the crowd is getting a bit nervy. Same sort of thing we experienced back in the spring, so it wasn't a nice feeling around the sort of 40-minute mark. Ben Rama, mazy run from the left, shoots right-footed from 25 yards, swerves around this. Gherkin has to kind of readjust and then gets two hands on it, makes the save to his right. Pennington breaks out of defence here just at the end of the first half, puts it through to Jackson. He runs in behind it, he goes down, and a very strange bit of refereeing this. The ref peeps on his whistle and looks straight over at the linesman. So the whole stadium looks at the linesman. He's like, Lino, okay, you make the decision. And the linesman, I don't remember if it was a goal kick or a corner. He certainly doesn't give a penalty. But talk about throwing your linesman under the bus there, ref. A few boos at half-time as the whistle goes. Look, this wasn't a pleasant half-time. The timeline of this was Hurst comes in, we're very optimistic, he sets out a system, he signs a load of players, we think we're working towards something. The loan window comes, a load of loan players comes in, he kind of tears it up and plays a bit direct against Norwich. We have an insipid performance against Hull, then he completely changes his system today, and it's men against boys, and we did look like a team that were very much bottom of the league. Also, everyone's phone is going at half-time, and the internet is awash with rumours at this point. The validity of them we will see in the coming hours and days, and maybe after Saturday. But it really did feel a bit depressing at half-time. Real air of resignation about the way that Hurst was going to deal with this. He brings in Nolan for Spence, he brings in Edwards for Harrison, and pretty much holds his hands up and says, that first half, I got it wrong. I'm going back to my 4-2-3-1. And I'm going to have to read you the team now, because it's a complete two changes and a complete change of system. So Donasian goes back over to right back. Pennington and Chambers, where certainly Pennington's more comfortable. Knudsen at left back rather than centre back. Skews and Chalobah are holding in midfield. Edwards down the right. Nolan in the 10 position. Ward down the left, and Jackson up front. A much more Paul Hurst-like system that we've seen in the past from him. Chalobah shoots right-footed. He falls for the crowd shouting shoot. Sometimes I wish the crowd wouldn't shout shoot, because every time they do it, the player kind of panics and shanks the shot. Goes out for a throw, that one, so well done there. Ward gets into the 10 position. Knudsen in a great position. He gets into the box. He takes a touch. He shoots for goal. He tries for power. It's a great chance, and Bentley makes the save on the near post. But thankfully, some presence down the sides rather than wing-backs marking the other team's forwards. From the corner, second ball falls to Jackson. Great reaction, similar to Mapai. But he's going to overhead volley this. It floats over Bentley. It hits the crossbar, and you're thinking, my God, this season sucks. It's not our day. But nice to see Jackson also getting into the game there. Much better from Ipswich here. More chances in that 1 minute I've put than in the previous game and a half. Town forcing a couple of corners, and Ward seemed to have had a kick up the arse there in the second half. Although, to his credit, it did look like he'd been asked to follow Josh McEachran around in the first half, but he looked a different player in the second half. Certainly can be a really good driving force when he's at it, Ward. Brentford corner, Watkins hits into the box, stands... Brentford counter. Watkins into the box, stands up Pennington. Gherkin stays upright and makes the save. Dangerous player, Watkins. Barbe, yellow, professional foul on Ward on the counter. Canos comes in for Ben Rama. Ben Rama looked a bit peeved by this. I think Watkins then switches back, and Canos, I'll tell you which side Canos ends up in my notes if you care. He ends up on the right, and Watkins ends up on the left. Lightning quick break from Brentford on 62 into the box for Mapai. He dummies with the left foot. Gherkin half goes down. Mapai hits the shot and Gherkin makes the save. Mapai should score there and make that one 2-0. Fair dues to Gherkin though, keeps us in the game. Free kick for Brentford right on the edge here. Barbe's lining us up left-footed. We don't get Wolves close now with the spray on the floor, so lovely sight of goal here. Barbe shoots it left-footed, good contact, smashes it against the bar. That's unlucky. Good chances for Brentford here for 2-0 up. Unlucky there. Mapai, edge of the box, good sight of goal here. Right-footed, had a bit of time. He had players in support and puts that over. Yanaris comes in for McEachran. Yanaris, more of a sort of number 8 than a deep line playmaker here. On 68 and on 72, Ipswich get the equaliser. Knudsen goes down the left. He overhits his cross, but Skews and I think one other player run into the corner to hassle Brentford, and it's one of those clearances that managers hate because the Brentford player puts it up the line, and what that always serves to do is put your defence right on the back foot there. It goes to Chalobah, and we know Chalobah's got quality, but he can't quite put it together, but we see it here, really direct, gets it out of his feet and puts in a superb cross. Jackson comes to the near post. He's playing as a lone striker. He doesn't get much service, but when he did, he comes to the near post, glances the header, and it flies in the corner. Well played. Excuse for chasing it in the corner. Well played Chalobah for an excellent assist, and great to see Jackson the striker. That's now his second goal. He kind of immediately joins Edwards as Ipswich's top scorer because we haven't scored many goals this season. Great stuff, really pleased. Team shows character to make the fight back, and it proves in this 4-2-3-1 if you get your fullbacks forward, damn it, you will create chances. Dalsgaard down the right, low cross, deflected, falls for Canos. The goal is gaping, and Pennington throws his whole body at it and makes the block there. I thought that was going to be classic Ipswich, and no sooner they got back in it, concede again. Alan Judge, nice to see him back at Portman Road, the scene of that horrible injury. He comes in for Mapai. Downs comes in for Chalobah. 84 Ipswich counter. Nolan through for Jackson to chase, cuts inside, tries a shot straight at Bentley. He looks confident. Now, on 90 minutes, the board goes up for 3. Will Ipswich get a chance? Yes, they are going to get a chance. Alan Judge treads on the ball with Brentford committing players forward. That completely breaks the press without there even being the need for it. Ipswich pull away. I think it's possibly Downs. Slides it through for Jackson. He's got such pace. He's running in on goal, but he's quite wide. What's he going to do? He goes for sheer power, and he puts it wide on the near post. Oh, that was the chance for the win. No criticism of Jackson because he scored a great goal, but what a moment that could have been for Paul Hurst's first win. It was not to be. Knudsen pro foul on Sawyers on 92. The last action of the game. My goodness, what a game of two halves. We were completely confused by the selection, not necessarily by the selection, but all this talk of philosophies, and to ditch it and completely go left field, 3 at the back in what was a rather negative, you know, play for draw type system. Brentford really schooled us. They were excellent in the first half. This has always been the question about Brentford in this project, of them having lots of possession and lots of chances and not putting games away. I'm sure if you're a Brentford fan, you can tell me a whole litany of games where you'd say, oh, if we clinically put away the chances that we had, you know, we would have been promoted a long time ago. It was men against boys in the first half, I would say. I think Hurst needs to take a bit of the blame for that, because the players presumably had one day to work on this system and it didn't really work. Second half, completely different story. Yes, Barbe hits the bar, and yes, Gherkin made 2 good saves, but Ipswich played with intensity. They got the fullbacks, particularly Knudsen, forward. Jackson's pace was utilised. Okay, there were some early balls into the channels, but you know, you're bottom of the league. Do what you can. It's fine to play that kind of, excuse me, up and at 'em style. And Ipswich were much better, although the bar was extremely low from the first half. And in the end, you know, given how bad the first half was, given the manager made changes, changed the system, 2 new players come in, I kind of think they actually deserved it in the end, given the whole arc of the narrative of the game. Yes, in another situation, Brentford put 1 of maybe 3 of those chances in, but Ipswich start the second half could have also scored one of their 2 good chances there, and you know, could have had the tails up for the whole half, and Brentford might have had more defending to do. Anyway, bigger scheme for Brentford. They haven't won away yet, so this might be a bit of a worry. They look very assured. They're great in possession. We need evidence that it's going to be a top 2 challenge rather than a playoff challenge. We need Brentford to win some away games, but they seem to have it all together. The philosophy, you know, you always need a good keeper and a goal scorer, and they seem to have got both of those sorted. They've got the system sorted, and strength in depth. The bench looked good as well. Can Brentford, can they put it together this season? I haven't looked at the table, so I assume they're still up in second, given it's only half a programme today and half tomorrow. As always, impressed with Brentford. So Brentford fans, what's the expectation now? You worried about the away no wins yet, or are you nice and patient? And is one of those Brentford streaky meltdowny things where you don't win for 8 games going to come at some point and derail things? We want to see it different, because I think anyone who's fan of a non-parachute funded smaller championship club would admire what Brentford have done, because that's the model to follow. Anyway, let's talk about Ipswich. Where does this leave Hurst? So many rumours flying around. We'll find out whether they were all hot air or not. The first half was really bad. If he'd stuck with it and lost 3-0, for example, this would be a very different report that I was giving. Now, he didn't. He changed. He made the move. He put Nolan and Edwards in the second half. And the team, he got a tune out of them. They did play for him in the second half, and they got another point. Ipswich is still unbeaten at home. But, wow, where does this leave him? Looking at the games after Saturday at home to Bolton, I think he really needs to beat Bolton on Saturday, although he needs a win from somewhere. Ipswich fans, let me know what you think in the comments, and is that win going to come on Saturday? As always, interested in opinions, try and read and reply to as many as I can, so please do comment. If you're watching and thinking, oh, I won't comment, he won't reply, please do, because I'm always interested to hear another point of view other than my own. I talk for long enough every game. Thumbs up would be lovely. Subscribe would be even better. Loads of content. Should be at Reading Norwich tomorrow, and you can get all the Blue Monday podcast stuff here. Quick plug, Blue Monday live show in Ipswich. Pick up your tickets for that if you're a subscriber to this channel. That's going to be great. November 24th after the West Brom game. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom, and I will see you very soon. Thank you for watching.